In this video, I am going to show you how to import a data in Excel to R and then work on those data. Okay, so suppose I have a data set called diabetes.xls. So that is in the Microsoft Excel. Okay, this is the data set. Suppose you have this data set. So what is this data about is the data consists of 19 variables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 19 variables on 403 subjects. There are total 403 subjects there. These are the subject IDs, okay? From 1046 subjects who were interviewed. Let me see how many are there. So 403, yeah. So 400, so it is basically on this out of, okay, this is basically out of 1046. These are the records for 403 subjects who were interviewed in a study to understand the prevalence of obesity, diabetes, and other cardiovascular risk factors in Central Virginia for African Americans. Okay, according to Dr. John Hung, diabetes mellitus type 2, adult onset diabetes, is associated most strongly with obesity. The waist-hip ratio may be a predictor in database and heart disease. So diabetes mellitus 2 is also associated with hypertension. They may both be part of syndrome X. The 403 subjects were the ones who were actually screened for diabetes. Glycosylated hemoglobin greater than 7.0 is usually taken as a positive diagnosis for the diabetes. Okay, all right. So now, I want to pull this data in R and I want to read this in I want to read this Excel data in R. Okay, let me close this data. So one of the very important thing that I want to mention here is if you are working Excel data into R, I always suggest save this data set into .csv because R does a good job in .csv file. This is .xls, this is Excel file. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I want to save this as a .csv file. How? Go to the file, okay, go to the file and go to save as. Okay, go to file and save as. This is that diabetes.xls file. So I want to save this as file format. The new file format will be .csv. So in your Windows computer or in your Mac computer, you will see that option .csv and then save it. Okay, so it will be saved as .csv file. Don't worry about that warning there. You see that diabetes.csv. Okay, now after you save this diabetes.xls file as a diabetes.csv file, comma separated version, okay, file. So what you need to do here is go to that folder. Okay, where is this file? Where is it saved? Go to that folder. Okay, how do I do that? Is let me show you that idea. All right, we need to first go, we need to open that folder here. We need to be able to see that here. Where did I save that? So whichever folder you saved it, just open that folder here. How? Okay, suppose you don't know anything, like for example, suppose you are in home. So how do I get into that folder is go to the desktop, okay, and then go to the just find out which folder contains that .csv file. Okay, in my computer, that CSV file is under, let me see, under teaching 2021 and then under biology 3000, and under that I think I have introduction to biology, introduction to biostatistics, and then computer R course. Under that biostatistics R code, under that there is just I think R code. You see that under the R code. Oh, I didn't see that in the R code. I want to go back. Okay, on the biostatistics R code there is a folder called data I have created, and did I find that diabetes.csv CSV. You can get that from here, okay? Or you can, I think I was, so anyway, so you need to open that folder right here from under the files, okay? You need to do that. So I think I have put that in another place too. I think it is the only one. So data and then do diabetes.csv. Okay, this is the file that that we want to use here. Okay, now, so here, whenever you try to read that file, this data set, you need to do read.csv and write down all these things there. How do I do that? So if you click that, it says view file, import dataset. Okay, what I want to do is I want to import dataset. It will give you the address of that dataset. It will give you the path for that dataset. You just copy this, select this, and then do Control C or Command C in your computer, or you can just do all these things from here or from here. Anyway, it is the same thing. Okay, so Control C or Command C, and then cancel this, and you paste it here inside that quotation mark. Inside that quotation mark, remove that, and Control V or Command V will paste it there. Okay, so this is the path from R to go to that file. And once you copy this path, you don't need to open this folder. No worries about opening that folder. So the R program will find out through that address, through that path. Okay, and now let me run this. See, it ran. It didn't show any error. If there was error, it would show in the red text. Okay, now let us find out how does the data set look like there. So there were 19 columns, right? Let's see whether it does do that or not. What I'm doing is I'm trying to see the first, so I'm giving the name B for that data set, okay? And then I did read.csv, and inside parentheses start the quotation, and then I copied that from there, okay? And then comma, header equals to true means it will take the title of each column or the caption of each column. Also, that is true. Header equals to true. Okay, now let's do head, B, and 8. What does that mean? That means it will print first 8 rows. Okay, so of B. Look at this. All these 19 columns are seen here. All right. Some of the data here are basically some of the data here. Let me write down that. Let me write down string and then B. We'll see what does that means. So here, what it is showing is some of the data are numbers, some of the data are categorical variable. For example, male, female, Buckingham, and then other location, and medium, large, medium, all those kind of things. And some of the data are NAs, right? We know how to do that, how to get rid of those NAs. Anyway, let us find out the last 8 values, last 8 rows. How do I do that? Just tail and then B and equals to 8. These are the last up to 403. You see that? And it is still copying the header because we did the header equals to true. Now let us see what does it do with the class B. So class B is the class of the data, is the data frame. Now we need to know which column is the numerical number or which column is the categorical and all those kind of things. If you do string str and then inside the parenthesis that matrix name, data set name, if I do that, oh, by the way, I ran that one because I selected that. If you do str, then it shows all those. See, 403 rows, 19 variables, 19 columns. The first one is integer, number. Both are numerical, right? So numbers. So factor, location is factor because there are 2 levels under the location, Buckingham and Louisa, right? And then one is 1, the other may be numbering that as 2, okay? Now another one factor is this one, gender, has male and female. So 1, 1, 1 and 2, 2, 2. So male are 1, female are 2. It is denoting like that. And the frame has I think it is a body frame, I think large, medium, small, like that. So it has 4 and there is some missing thing there. Okay, and there are NA values and so on. So it gives you the information about the data. Okay, if you do the summary, it will tell you how many NAs are available there and so on. And in case of the qualitative data or the categorical data, it just tabulate how many Buckingham were there, how many Louisa were there. Okay, so here look at this. On ID, these are the 5-number summary. On cholesterol, there is one NA. On stable glucose, there is no NAs. There are NA. So it shows all the basic all basic features of that data set. Okay. Now let us do the dimension. Dimension will tell you how many rows and how many columns. 403 rows, 19 columns. Name. So what are the list of the variables? The names will list all those variables there. Okay. String, we did that already. Now you want to know what type of data set is the ID. So B dollar sign ID. That means we are taking the data set B, but only the column ID. Okay. Class of B ID. So what types of data is that? It is integer. Similarly, B dollar sign ratio means the next one is the ratio. Okay, so we want to know what types of data are there under the ratio. So let us do that. Class of B ratio, it is numeric. Similarly, for the frame, it is factor. So what are the levels? If you want to see the levels of that frame, there is one missing level and then large, medium and small. So it does all those things. Now suppose I want to pick the data set. I want to pick the data set with according to the frame. According to the frame, I want to pick only those rows that has small frame only. I want to pick this row. Okay, the whole row of small. That one, another small is somewhere here. All those. So if you want to pick only those by small frame by frame that are small, then you do subset function. Okay. C equals to subset of that set B, data set B, where frame equals to small. If you do that, then look at this. It copied, it just collected all those small frame rows only. See, row number 10, 26, 28, 56, 75, 82, 83. These are the only small frame data sets. Okay. Similarly, if you want to do like subset of B with ratio greater than 6.5, see, under the ratio there are various values, right? And if you want to pick only the rows of ratio 6 greater than 6.5, you are filtering that using the data set. Look at this. And then if you do head, okay, that's just picking the 10 first rows. So the ratio is greater than 6.5 here. Okay, it is picking all the rows where the ratio is greater than 6.5. And what is the dimension? How many rows and columns are there in there? There are 48 rows and 19 columns for this category. All right, guys. So this is how you actually pull the data from Excel. First of all, you need to save as .csv file and then pull that. Now let us do more on missing values. Okay, so let us see. So under the column names, so what we do is we will list the columns, we will list the name of the columns that has NA values. That's what we are going to do next. Okay, on this, okay, let us do that. So column names B apply is.NA, B is to NE. So what is doing is list the column names with missing values. So you need to, if you have a name with different name, then you need to change that name B as different names. Okay, so it is just listing the columns with NA values. These are the columns with NA values. Okay, now let's do the summary of B. In the summary of B, so that's what we did already. So it find out the mean, median, mode. For the numerical data, it find out the mean, median and quartiles and minimum value, maximum value, and it excludes the NA values. So if you want to do only for one column, I am doing summary of B and the $ frame means I want to find out the mean of the categorical column. So what does it do? In that case, it just find out there are 12 missing data. There are 103 large, medium is 184 and small is 104. Okay. Similarly, if you want to find out the summary of BP.2s, BP.2s, where is that? That is the column name. If you want to find the summary of that, let us do that. What does it do? it find out all mean, median, and mode, and it also says how many NAs are there. Okay, all right. So there are so many things you can do. You can just find out, suppose in a certain column, which elements are NA. So in that case, you can do which is.NA So in the ID, which one is NA? It just tells you, oh, there are nothing, none of them has NA. So how about this one? So how many values of the column cholesterol B and $ cholesterol means the cholesterol column of the dataset B, so are missing there? Let us do that. So what is it doing here is it is doing true for the missing values and false. Look at this, 28th value is missing, and where is another true values? So you can see another true value. I mean, it is hard to see, right? Because there are many false. There may be 28. It says, see, it says 28 value is missing. All right. So what is this? Which? So which, this will show you which. So there are 28. Okay. It tells you how many of them are missing there. And what I'm doing here is, it says displays. So B and then that complete dot cases will give you displays rows of all missing values and A or blank only. Let's see that. So it is showing the NA or missing values somewhere. Okay, guys, let us see. How many are there? There are, wait, displays rows of all missing values and A or blank only. That's what it does. See? Oh, by the way, there are so many NA values. So it is listing all those rows of the NA values. Okay. For example, let's say 1, 2, 3 is missing because 3 doesn't have any NA, and 7 is missing because 7 doesn't have any NA, and so on. Okay. Now, if you want to remove all the NA values, this is what you do. But I'm taking the very original B data set. Okay. C equals to, so it will remove a row of all the NA values. Okay. See, there are no NAs. You see that? So you can find out the dimension of that. See, it removed 1 and 2, it removed 4, 5, 6, it removed 8, and so on. Okay. And if you find out summary of C, that will give you the summary of the columns with NA removed. Okay, guys, that's it. So on how to import data and how to clean up the data, find out the information about the data in R. All right. Thank you very much.